What's up, guys? Welcome back. Today's gonna be chill. My first day back home in a week. I was in Florida. Went back in town for a bunch of family events. It was a lot of good stuff. I had fun catching up with everybody. Got to see some friends, and it was nice. Usually I'm not one to really get homesick, but this time I found myself kind of missing family and friends and wanting to actually extend the trip. The way my bank account's set up, though, I was not able to do that, so I'm back home. But it was fun. First we went down as my sister-in-law's 40th birthday. We kind of got an Airbnb in St. Pete, and we just went and we were just hanging out. Went to the beach, got some food, hung out at the Airbnb and just played some pool. So it was a lot of good time. It was fun seeing my mom and my sister, and my girlfriend's been out of town for a month too, so it was nice to get to see her again. What's up, everybody? Where mama? I'm short mama. Okay, so what I'm gonna work on today is I'm gonna refactor burn. And why do I need to refactor it? Because the LLMs have just been writing some crappy code, and it's not its fault, it's partially user error. As the code base grows, each time I ask for a feature for it to write, it's getting confused because there's so much code, so much context, and it's not following any patterns. So what I need to do now is lean into the cursor rules and create a set of guidelines for it to follow. So I'm gonna take ACE, one of my old projects that I built out, and I was really careful with the structure of that project. So I'm gonna take that one, I'm gonna generate cursor rules, which will outline exactly how every piece of the code should be written, and then I'm gonna piece by piece have the LLMs rewrite the code in the way that I like. So I want to go over a quick explanation of what I fixed with this refactor. And the main difference is I've broken it up using clean architecture. Before, the layers were screen, block, and service, where the screen had all the UI components. As you can see, this today's screen is, I think, like 1,200 lines of code. And the number of lines of code isn't necessarily an indicator for bad code, but single responsibility is something that I like to follow in my code. And this screen isn't just the code for the screen. It has every widget that exists on this screen in one file. Personally, I don't like that. This is the refactored screen code. It's much smaller, and things are broken up into different widgets. Today content, we have the date picker widget. Those are the real two main widgets. And then if I want to see the code for those, I can dig in and then get to the actual code. And it's still much smaller because everything is broken up. The next thing we did was we took the state management. Before here we have block and we have local state mixed in on one screen. I don't like that. So one of the rules I set was either use block or use local state. Don't mix and match. So now on this screen you'll see, notice it's a stateless widget. So everything can be stateless widgets because all of state is managed in the block. Now the next thing is all of the logic before was broken up into one file, one huge service, and it was really messy because this service did a lot of different things. It wasn't just for fetching the data. It had caching, it was manipulating the data here. It even has some state management in here. Now what we've done is we've taken that service and we've broken it up into use cases, repos, and data sources. Some people think that this abstraction is a waste of time because it's a lot of files, and I kind of get that. It's annoying to work with, but it makes it really simple to debug and to test because these are broken up and you can inject them into test files. So for example, let's say get workout data for today. We have a use case which then calls the repository and calls get today's data, and notice it's like a small method, and then it calls the data source. So the data source is the only place that Supabase exists. Nowhere else in the app will know about Supabase, and this makes it really easy to swap out my database provider if I ever need to. Maybe I want to switch off of Supabase ORM and I want to use something else. I only have to update the data source layer. The repo doesn't need to be touched and the use cases don't need to be touched. But that's the main changes. Let's see, I had the LLM kind of break it down for us a little bit here. So what was improved? The structure before was the screens, services, blocks, and models. And now we have all these different layers. Some might say that's bad. I prefer it. But each layer has its own responsibility in clean architecture. We have the presentation, domain, and data. And here's just some of the metric. The today's screen before was 1,242 lines, and now it's 142 lines. Granted, everything is broken up, but it's a bunch of smaller pieces. But yeah, breaking it up into this, like it says, it broke up the big monolith that we had, and it just broke it up into smaller chunks that can be maintained easier. So this is just the today's screen. I need to go through and do this refactor for all the different parts of the app. I'm going to do it piece by piece though, because I'm certain that I'm going to break things as I go. And the point of this is to reduce me breaking things and making errors. So refactor went well. Now I'm going to go hit up a coffee shop and just hang out for the rest of the day and just have some fun.
There is a life I lead in this city, hurrying to cut my teeth. I can take what I need to get by. It doesn't make it easy. The other piece of my heart moves slow, somewhere in the great unknown. When I return from the afterglow, will you carry me like I am whole again? Wait, hold on, put me together, take me back where I belong. I want it all. I had a feeling, but the feeling is all gone.